Hello and welcome to the Mailbag preview show brought to you by puntingform.com.au, a database that I've always used. That's why I win, I think. Maybe I'm okay at it, but I think it's heavily assisted by Punting Form. Rob Scurry joins me as always, and the man who steers it and just keeps us all tight and together. Jono Rayner, the racing manager at Mailbag Bloodstock. John, how are you and what show number is this?
Episode 288.
That's
Uh,
exciting.
yeah. And we had the preview show tips. Only myself and Rob went around because your Lamborghini got scratched. So it was just a bit of a dot ball for you.
And I believe this will be the last chance for anyone to catch me because we said we'd end this in November. It's the 30th of you just won already, but I'll give you a little shot at it. Expect them to be big double figure juicy operations because that's the sort of operators you two are. And I'm excited about it. I might find something to place just to make it tricky.
Definitely looking for a Hail Mary from my end. Rob, you had the week off with racing in New South Wales at Kimbler, although you were doing some betting, but not from the yard.
No, yeah, it was. I didn't really know how the track was going to play. We had one winner. We came out on top. We backed that with your blessing. Never looked like losing. I felt Lock Eagle we followed as well, which I thought was a huge run. But yeah, looking forward to it. I'm itching. I haven't
You
been to
let
the
Danusta
track.
go without you, did you, mate? Hey?
Oh, I had to do something. Yeah, I did. I didn't even
Danusta.
get. Didn't even get on. With Jay Collard, I saw. But no, I haven't been to the track for. Well, it's a while now, and Kenzo tomorrow, and then Rosehill Saturday. So all you people who are watching the pennies, if you get the 24-hour pass, you'll get most of two meetings for $10.
That's ridiculous.
That's
That
the way it is. So if you love a
I'd get
bargain,
I'd get it this weekend because I'm going to put a stop to that.
There you go. So yeah, we're going into the last round there. 69% for Jack, 20% for myself, and 30% for Rob. So we'll be hunting you down, Jack.
Say that again. Sorry, I wasn't listening.
69% for yourself, 20% for me, and 30% for Rob. So you're well
I'm in a
ahead.
fair position.
You're
Yep.
well ahead. We're in a bit of trouble.
you said that
Uh,
last.
Mm.
Racing in New South Wales heads to Rosehill. We'll have a look at two races from there. The Group 3 Festival Stakes is race 7 over 1,500 metres. Jack, with the possibility we had Keats nominated, but decided not to head that way.
Yeah, I thought about it a fair bit, but we didn't go that way. I think it's a moderate race for the prize money, and I think he would have been pretty competitive, but just a bit of a bridge too far for the things we have in store for him moving forward. Obviously, it almost so frustrating and disappointing that you're kind of numb to how stupid and bad it was on Sunday that he didn't run in the Kilmore Cup, where he would have started favourite and been very hard to beat a $200,000 race. So I think the industry as a whole, both states, just needs to get their priorities a little bit straighter.
I'd actually forgotten about that and it had gone out of my mind, but
So
thanks.
had I until we started talking about the big fella.
Yeah. Rob, you would have seen, I think Rustic Steel was the favourite last I looked. Was that correct with Valana out? Could be wrong,
Chrissy Lees.
but that was ran in the Newcastle race, the Hunter. Who did you like out of that Hunter?
I actually had something on Dajran first up at a decent price, and it was well backed, and it's just gone out to $40 here because that was the best I've seen in parade.
I think
But
it won
yeah,
this
look,
race last year from memory.
okay. It looks a very very tough race. A few old mates there. Williamsburg gets a soft track, which he's been crying out for. Rustic Steel was favourite. It's well, I can't really have Felix Majestic back to Rosehill. He seems to grow a leg there. Yeah, I don't know. My one of my favourite horses, the horse which I tipped to Jack, that Hong Kong should be buying as a 4-year-old Grabini, must have some very very cashed up owners because that's one of the best staying prospects in Australia, I'd suggest. I'm just looking. I've missed it. It's won at Goulburn without me. But he's a get back horse, and I prefer him over sort of 18 to 2,000 meters. But he's probably the horse with the most upside in the field. But 1,500 maybe a bit short of his best distance at this stage. Yeah. What do you think, Jack? You like anything here? I know you were keen on that Pearson last start. I thought he ran very well at Newcastle.
I think you can sort of consider him quite heavily. Other than that, though, I've got no idea, to be honest. And I don't really care. I will assist with the prices, and then I'll just wait and just twiddle my thumbs until you whisper to them, they whisper back, and you send it via the app what they're doing, who's ready to win, who's not, and I'll bet.
That was Pearson that ran second to Grabini at that Goulburn race.
Okay, because wasn't that what was the thing that ran? It was set outside much better, which had a similar kind of name at Newcastle 2 weeks ago. Was that the same horse?
Same horse.
Yeah.
No?
Okay, yeah. So there he was. He's run second to Grabini, and then he's run very, very well outside leader at Newbra.
On a good 4.
That's the other
4.
The track record's been broken, but yeah, it's hard to know exactly how Rosehill's going to play. I'll wait for a bit of an update from the team regarding that. It's often hard to make ground, hence me being circumspect about Grabini's chances because he'll be back in the field.
I like horses coming off firm tracks though. Like if you won the toss at Newcastle, you would have batted.
Sure. Look, there wasn't too much wrong with that track other than, our horse going very. It's probably the best track in New South Wales, if you ask me. So I don't want to hear a bloody word against it.
I didn't say anything against it.
All right. Race 8 is the Starlight Stakes, 1,100 metres listed. Jack, you were interested in Malkovich. It must have been scratched. Was it from the Newcastle Sprint?
It might have been.
It was from Kembla.
Look, I'm a bit off my game today, guys. Yesterday was a debacle here, an absolute debacle. Not only was it raining and windy as all fuck at Sandown, Lenny jumped off the bed and gave me like a flying elbow, trying to keep up with Das, and I heard this, and she was like, so sat her up in bed for about an hour and a half. Then I take her to the doctor. The doctor moves her arm, didn't flinch, Rob. Moved her elbow. She was like, oh, she's 2. Then we had to go get an x-ray. I had to do all this by myself because Emma's not around. Get to the x-ray joint. The guy moves her arm around because she's so she's comfortable with the doctor. X-ray is different. Moves the elbow around. Doesn't even notice what the guy's doing.
Complete waste of time.
She's taken the wrestling to the next level and play the injury up. Completely fake.
Trying to get her brother in the trying to get the brother in the shit.
That's the second WWE story to come out of your household in the last sort of week or so.
Well, we wrestle every day.
Okay.
Darcy loves it.
Yeah.
He begs to wrestle. Comes in like half nude, takes his shirt off. Anyway, back to the races. That's why I haven't really had a good look at
That's all right. It was Malkovich that you liked before it got scratched because it was the trialled good behind Overpass, who is in the West now. Running this weekend, I believe, or coming up anyway. Rob, any thoughts here straight off the bat?
Oh, look,
looks tough as well.
Decent speed. You'd think there's a few run-on horses in sort of Foxfighter on the lead. Dragonstone being another one, always sort of in the market, Dragonstone. But yeah, look, I can't tell you much at this point. Conscript seems to go well early in the prep. We had a good win on him, I think, second up last campaign and backed him at first up. So I'm sure he'll look good. But look, I don't know. Quick Tempo, another good run last week. But he seems to be running every week and running well. But no idea, mate. Sorry.
Yeah, Quick Tempo possibly enjoyed that heavy 8. Kembla quite well. Ran the fastest last 800, 400, 200 and 100 of the meeting. But yeah, I suppose you'd expect that from the feature sprint on on the card. All right. Well, no idea there either. So Rosehill could be a tricky card.
Well, it's tricky
It
now,
looks
but
it looks a
when I'm
big yard day
there,
to me. It looks a big yard
yeah,
day to me. Yeah, just let the
we
horses
got
speak to him.
yeah,
All right.
we'll get a result.
Let's head over to Caulfield then, and we'll go straight to the Eclipse Stakes, which we currently have 2 runners in. It is an 1,800 metre Group 3. We've got Just Folk, Mark Zara aboard, and Keats with Bo Merdens aboard. Jack, did you want to briefly touch on those 2 runners?
I think they're both very, very good chances of winning this race. Not sure what we'll do, to be honest, yet, but be surprised if one of ours doesn't start favourite. I'd be disappointed if whichever one runs, or if both run, they don't run top 3. Ain't No Deal Done had a beautiful, like a really, really nice tick over jump out at Flemington. Juniper, I think, would have been competitive, and the one like for us to beat last Sunday if Kilmore and the jockeys could have raced. But he has, like, that was his first win in a long time last time he won. But at a session came out of the same race and was very competitive with Just Folk last weekend. So I think they're the ones. Let's Roll the Dice had its complete birthday last start. I think it's a nice horse, but just won't get it as soft as it got it the other day. I think Keats gets a really beautiful run here, and assisted by Sir Lucan being there to make it like a genuine run race, which then suits Just Folk and Ain't No Deal Done and Juniper. I think it's a good race, but I think we've placed our horses really well to capitalise on a pretty weak Group 3 and a good amount of prize money.
Indeed.
What are you expecting the track to be rated, and how will it race? On pace as always?
It is like peak Victoria right now. You know what I mean? Like you need to see a psychologist if you try and predict what the weather's going to do. It just sends you insane. It's like miserable, windy, and grey right now. But I wouldn't rule out this afternoon that it's shorts and shirt weather. You just don't know at the moment. So we pray for the heavens to just open right on Caulfield.
Yeah,
wetter the better for Just Folk.
Wasn't he good, Just Folk, last week? The way he
tough.
The last 50, it was like he went past a session, which he sat outside. I thought he ran.
Bit of Charlie Sheen about it, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, he's just in a good frame of mind, that horse, which is so important. Attitude of a racehorse is so important.
Look good, feel good, run good.
Yeah.
He's earned 90,000 in prize money from his 3 starts since we purchased him and hasn't won yet. So he's
so if he could go there on Saturday and win, Jono, the owners and ourselves would be in front
in the money,
which would be a glorious way to be after 4 runs. Yeah.
I think they call that a free roll in poker. Once after that.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. We'll move on to race 7, the Sandown Guineas Group 2 mile for 3-year-olds. Arkansas Kid, I believe, is the favourite. Last I looked, I think, for Mark Zara. Jack?
Found this race tough because a lot of these horses have been up for a little while, and like, how hard do you want to trust them? The potential, like, fresh blood, if you will, which our man Roberto Scuzdog Scurry is all over, no doubt. For Chrissy Lees, a man that I adore, a trainer with a good amount of ability, and for D Lane, who rides him as good as anyone, is Power of the Brave. This Brave Smash 3-year-old gelding comes via Kenzo Randwick Warwick Farm, 64s and 68s. Just a bit of fresh blood form-wise. I thought it was over the odds. Arkansas Kids, like, no knock at all. It's got osmosis form, for God's sakes, But just sort of like a bit of a haphazard preparation. It's not certainly a horse that you just comfortably want to fall into. Modown brings the Swartz form, which I think is as lower form as there is in Victoria. It'll be over bet, Swartz, and that race rated no good. Sometimes they come off those and then they do improve, but I'd want to see that before I fell into it. And if Perovic wins, I might tap out for the day because I backed it at Moonee Valley as one of the great bets of the recent times for us. I didn't back it at Moonee Valley the second time, and it was a big drifter and went completely awful. So potentially you'd have to watch the betting, but there's at least two of this horse. There could be three, and at least one of them we can't trust. So you Regal Zeus. I think Regal Zeus is running today at Geelong in the second last. I looked at having a little bet at it there. I think this would be a bit tough for it. And the horse I like a lot, John, but its racing pattern just gets it into too much trouble. It's Vivier. We backed it at a big price, two back in the 1,000 Guineas prelude. It was very good and ran second. Unfortunately, I didn't bet the place, but I think that's a nice horse. Filly by Hellbent.
At the line hard in the 1,000 Guineas itself as well. Roberto?
We were on Power of the Brave at Warwick Farm on a Wednesday, and a bit of a cat just got it late on the line, so it doesn't look much more than a Wednesday horse to me. 650 just shows how weak this race, because that was a Wednesday. Yeah. I know it was against older horses, but look, he probably runs well. The favourite's probably obviously the one to beat, being the favourite, but it's the class horse suited at the weights, and I if that got a good report, I'd be most interested in that. The rest look like battlers.
Could the bottom of the book to Kumar in the Coolmore colours?
Yeah,
for moods.
And Kathy Coleman.
Yes.
And Linda.
Nice little
bands back together.
Lightly raced Fastnet Rock filly could jump out of the ground, couldn't it? All right. Race 9 at Caulfield we'll have a look at as well, which is a summoned stakes for a mile for Mears, Group 3. Revolutionary Miss was pretty good at Cranbourne last Saturday.
Last week on the quick backup, John.
Got past the short favourite pretty easily. Thoughts?
Given the complete PR last weekend, it's not going to get it from 10. That was Geordie Childs. It's now Mick D. Until last week, like, where was this horse? What was it doing? Even last week, it was $4.60 out of $6. I think it's an opportunity to get around it, but then you've got to find one that you want to get around it with. And that's where I started to find a bit of trouble. I think if I had to have a bet, which you never do, gamble responsibly, 1-800-858-858, chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential advice, visit the website or call the number. Number 10, Long Time Dreamin'. One at Warrnambool, one at Donald. Calico Jack, we know a little bit. Just a little bit of a out wide angle towards this race. It's only had this two starts for Paul Prushka, who's a very good trainer, for 2 wins. It's been slowly away at both starts. Debates, Group 1 debates and prize money debates goes on. From barrier 6, maybe it can jump and hold a little bit of a spot. I thought it was a horse that, outside of the obvious here, was a player. I think that kind gesture for Willow comes through the right sort of race as well. So I think that there was an excuse, I reckon, at Flemington. I reckon that was first up.
Missed the start.
And What a Deal and Von Hawk are good animals that would be competitive in this race. So that's probably how I see a tricky race, John.
Perfect. He's run some, that kind gesture was one I was just having a look at. It's run some pretty good closing splits on the day, and that was stakes day. So there's obviously some pretty good animals going around on that day.
And it carried WF Pin for 2 of its 4 starts. So who knows?
One of my favourites in this race is glosses a little bit off it, but Wollumbai. I've won multiple times for the service.
It's an interesting horse because just sort of like given none or plain. If it gets back to Caulfield where it was like half okay, I thought, even though it ran 7th of 9. I think there's a bit more in that performance than meets the eye. And then like the run, I just sort of want to see a different rider. I'm not knocking Jamie. I just think this horse needs a big thick boy over its neck, just forcing it to sort of go a bit harder. I think that this horse is talented and ready to win.
Tongue
I
tied.
quite like it.
Well, I really like it.
Okay, so that's where you're going. This is
look,
the best.
look, we had big plays on it at Newcastle and Wyong, and it kind of ran. It was good at Newcastle, at Wyong, and Newcastle I thought was a bit disappointing. It's just one of those horses off back nearly every start.
And late in last start gets tongue tied, so maybe they're worried about that. Skew Whiff come out and ran 5th in a good race last week or the week before last at Caulfield, the Group 1. Foxy Cleopatra came out and improved lengths off it. Forbidden City improved, and Revolutionary Mist come through that race. And then if you look back at their SPs in that race, I'd assume they were a lot closer there than they are today. So Revolutionary Mist 850 versus Wallenby 10s. What are they now, John, for this race?
280. 280 Revolutionary Mist, $6 Wallenby.
I'm starting to get keen too.
And then you've got Forbidden City, who was rough in that, but it did beat those two home. It was a $31 shot. Bet them home and it's paying $20 here.
Mm.
But, yeah, I mean, it was a roughie on that day too. But all right. Possibly warm into Wallenby then. All right, let's get to the best bets. Rob, did you have one ready to go?
It's one of my old favourites. We'll go to Brisbane this time. This is a bit of a Hail Mary. We're shooting at the, there's no point tipping at $2. So I'm going to go Baller in the George Moore Stakes. Here he is. He's first up for Golan. He's barrier 13, currently $16. First up record is very, very good. 7 starts for 2 wins and 2/3. One of the best looking, the fastest son of High Chaparral will do me.
Oh, here we go. What are you on 528, are you, mate? The fastest son of High Chaparral.
3.5 left.
A dynamic winner at 3.
Yeah, well, it's just a fact. He is the fastest son of High Chaparral, and I'm thinking that would trigger people because he's only a Group 2 horse.
Speaking
and High
of triggering people, can I have my best bet be Baller in Brisbane on Saturday? There we go. Hey, it took a while, but Rob's having a bad week, guys, and I was going to laugh. That's why we do this show. There you go. Yeah. I love you.
Baller was 3.5 lengths off Coolangatta in the Group 1 down the straight, over 1,000 last time first up. So comes back a fair bit here, and 1,200 more suitable than 1,000 for Baller, you'd think.
Rob's been a Baller man, Jono, since before you even knew what the Mailbag was, I reckon. He's love that horse.
Yeah. I just wish I was there the day he won. His first start, he was 80 to 1 at Kembla Grange, and he won for.
He used to be in different colours, right? He used to be in like a navy sort of, yeah.
Yeah, he was. There's a bit of a story with him with the judge Anthony Cummings, but Anthony, anyway, I shouldn't speak out of school what happened there, but yeah, he got sold.
Gotcha. All right, Jack, what's your best bet? Not Baller. All right, I'll go to mine.
Yeah, do yours, would you please?
Yep. All right. I'm also going a bit Hail Mary-like. Race 9, the feature at Tarapa on Saturday, the Trevor Eagle Memorial over 1,500 metres for 3-year-olds. Thought this was one of the worst editions of that race I've seen in a while. It's normally quite a good race. The 6 Sterling Express. It was it's actually the outsider of the field at $21. But it started quite well in the market on debut on a really heavy track at Tauranga. That was the one that Cool Sign Mav absolutely failed on when I bet on him. So I'm willing to forgive that completely after some good trials leading into his debut. And yeah, outsider of the field, giving it a decent chance in what is not that exciting a field.
Who's on?
Who's on?
Yeah.
A guy
Jockey.
called Billy Jacobson comes to New Zealand from South Africa.
Sounds like
Hello, John.
sounds like a country singer.
Hello, John. It's Billy.
I think I looked him up before. 43-year-old. I think they call him. There was a good nickname for him. They call him the riding machine. Now I looked him up because I thought riding machine. I thought this guy's going to have ridiculous form in South Africa, but turns out it's because he fell off in a meeting in Mauritius and was unhurt. That's how he got the name. So there you go.
Yeah,
hopefully it's not like Hewell on Vanderhoven. Jack, your best bet?
Yeah, I'm in an R&E.
Just play straight bet.
Race 8, number 7, Duke de Sessa.
I think I might have backed that last start.
Has it won for a while, from memory?
Yeah, I think they kind of like robbed us of the price a bit. It deserves to be a little bit juicier, but it's not, and I build it to be, baby.
That was Miramasa got going early. Was that D-Moore on Miramasa got going before it? And then was it John Allen maybe on Duke de Sessa? It took a while to find the gap.
Yeah, I think it was. And I just think like the softer the better for it. I almost went Gennady to place just to be coward or Valana. But Valana's the other one I could sort of just try and just bump that 69 up to... No, I'll stick with Duke de Sessa.
All right, race 8, number 7, Duke de Sessa. All right, perfect. And what do we got? Mailbag. So we've got possibly Autumn Miss debuting, our Autumn Sun filly in Queensland, but she has drawn barrier 20.
Carper
Coast. There's a few scratchings already, but I'd say more doubtful than likely. Then we've possibly got Keats and Just Folk in the Eclipse Stakes at Caulfield. Scapini on the quick backup at Toowoomba. And then that might be it for this weekend. Unless I'm
What are we doing with the caps? Is there a white cap and a black cap for separate our boys for Matt Hill?
Yeah, I've actually got it here. Yeah, we do.
Don't forget.
It's a blue cap. What do we normally? We normally have a white cap, don't we?
White with orange dots.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a blue with orange dots. We've got a big month coming up. We've got horses. I mean, Pace the Jury, despite what can only be described as one of the worst tactical rides of all time, given the data. It was very slow tempo to the 600. So you got to ask yourself, how is that possible given the instructions were like handlebars down? And full credit to her though, she ran the second fastest last 200 meters of the night. So she's going super. Poland in at Cranbourne now, pre-trained, muscled up, ready to rock and roll. There's a lot happening.
Mm-hmm. All right. Perfect. That'll do us. And good luck, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Make sure, though, guys, if you are, just think about what you're going to do this weekend. Buy Rob stuff. Eyes on ponies. He whispers to horses. They sometimes whisper, they sometimes grunt back at him, but he knows what they're saying, and he helps you find winners at Sydney's biggest tracks, biggest days. I love you, Rob, and I love you too, Jono. Have a great week, everyone. Bye for now.